day 74 of being a girl. Round of applause for the makeup. And I wore this outfit shopping today. And I thought that these might be my new shopping shorts. But I was walking around and everyone was staring. And I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? And they were all staring directly at my crotch. And I went, oh, I forgot that my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes because mine doesn't look like a little Barbie pocket. And I thought, okay, Dylan, you have some options here. Number one, you can stop wearing clothes that fit like this and just find looser fitting items. Number two, I can do a tuck, which is going to have to be a whole other video, but it's very painful and involved. Or number three, I just normalize it and I wear clothes like this and we all just normalize women having bulges sometimes because we're coming up on bikini season, baby, and you might see a bulge or two. So normalize the bulge. We are normalizing the bulge. Women can have bulges and that's okay. We're not going to stare at their crotches while they're wearing their little shopping shorts at the mall. Oh, thank you. Love you. Bye.
I'm going to tell you this, F3UI Beghart. I don't have a problem with this, but no, I'm joking in that I don't actually have a problem with this. I am actually now questioning whether or not this is one big troll, whether or not this is one big Andy Kaufman-esque type troll, whether it's an individual expressing themselves, but turning it into comedy content as well because of the sheer absurdity of it. There's one part in particular I have to focus on.
Okay, what's going on? And they were all staring directly at my crotch.
I'm going to stop right there. Nobody was staring at Dylan Mulvaney's crotch. I'll tell you why. I don't think it even happened in the first place. I can identify people who I might think are trans. There might be people who are clearly trans, and there might be people who are not clearly trans, who look like biological women. And even if they had a bulge in their groin, I wouldn't be looking there. I wouldn't be staring there. It wouldn't be noticeable that anyone would be staring at the groin crotch area of anybody, trans, boy, girl, whatever. So I don't believe the premise. Second issue.
And I went, oh, I forgot that my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes because
I forgot that
mine doesn't look.
I forgot that my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes. What does that mean? Dylan Mulvaney's crotch, insofar as it has a penis, never looks like another woman's crotch, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it has to be a troll. It has to be, how far can I push this before sensible, rational, tolerant people say this has to be a troll?
That my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes because
all the time. All the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Normalize the bulge. Here's what you should normalize. Let me just take this out of the screen for a second. Here's what we should normalize. Not looking at other people's crotches, boy, girl, trans, whatever. But the idea that Dylan Mulvaney's purpose now, having gone and met with the President of the United States, normalize the bulge. Normalize women having penises. That's what there are women, by the way, who have protruding mons labia, the mound. There's women that have protruding mounds, flat. I don't know what the exact terminology is. Women's bodies are not all the same. So the idea that normalizing a bulge when some biological women have something of a bulge anyhow doesn't need to be normalized. That's just nature. Normalize women having penises, which is what Dylan Mulvaney is pushing right here, is erasing women from the planet. It is erasing what a woman is. It's erasing what a woman had to fight for equal rights. And at some point, people have to say this is a comedy bit, and what makes it a comedic bit is its absurdity, despite being based in reality. I mean, we're talking about whatever happened with that teacher up in Oakville High School, Oakville Trafalgar High School, whatever happened with that teacher. That fell out of the news real quick, and I'm still wondering whether or not that was a troll by a teacher who wanted to see how far can I actually push this before sensible, tolerant, peace-loving people who would otherwise say, dude, do whatever you want, I don't care, until they say, this is absurd, this is too much. A trans teacher coming into a high school, doing workshop, where's my hairband? With two giant prosthetic boobs, giant, like unhealthily, unnaturally giant, with extremely protruding hard nipples. How long until, I'm thinking this teacher's like, how far do I have to push it before the board, the board of whatever it is on the teacher's school, the board of school says, yeah, no. How far is Dylan Mulvaney going to push this? Normalize women having penises. Why don't you just tell me to normalize the erasure of the concept of a woman? Has anyone ever heard of, you guys know who Reggie Watts is? Reggie Watts has that awesome hip-hop mock song called SHIT Stack. It's a great song. I mean, you try to bleep out the swear words in that, there's nothing left of the song. There's a part where he says, I like women. I like women. I like the concept of a woman. And then in his rap parody, he says, I like to reduce that concept to an object, as if to make fun of rap music or hip hop, which reduces the entity of the woman to jiggly bits, waxing cars, etc., etc. This is a transgender individual, by all accounts. I mean, at any given day, Dylan can, change Dylan's mind. This is a biological male now saying normalize women with penises, basically normalize as women, men who want to identify as women. It's the erasure of womanhood, girls, girlhood. And I am now getting more and more convinced that Dylan Mulvaney is running a very long troll to see how long he can do this for. But before which time, ordinary, tolerant people who would otherwise say, do what you want and leave me alone, say, holy cows, you're not leaving me alone. You're rubbing it in my face. You're going to the president to erase the concept of a woman and do what you want on your own, but this has gone too far. Okay. I also figured I had to start with something that wasn't Justin Trudeau, that wasn't the Emergencies Commission. How is the audio? I mean, I've got my insulation mat. I don't know if it made it any better. And I'm not sure if this side of the office is any better. Good afternoon. Oh my goodness. I'm just wasting time. We're learning the lessons of what it means to displace temporarily, albeit long-term, to another country. Oh my God, the paperwork. And you go and you wait in line and you drive an hour and then they tell you to come back and sorry. Okay, Mario Carter 13. Can't believe they convicted Darrel Brooks' lawyer. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the inquiry, the latest updates. I'm running that stream simultaneously on Viva Clips on YouTube, where virtually nobody's watching it, but it's there for public service and not for viewership, and on a separate stream on Rumble, where interesting observation. There were 1,300 people just watching the stream on Rumble. And it's much more convenient because you can't rewind the stream when watching it through the public inquiry website. You can't, there's no chat. There's no interactiveness. I pop in and out of that stream, but it's from 9:30 in the morning until went until 6 o'clock last night. It's no Darrel Brooks trial in terms of the obscenity of the subject matter, or the absurdity of self-representation of Darrel Brooks, but people want to watch it, so it's there. So you can go in. I'm going to pop in and out. I've been following the chat, engaging with the chat. If you're interested in that, it's running simultaneously all day, and I'm going to follow it as much as I can. But this is the non-inquiry stream of the day, and I actually should have made sure that we are successfully simultaneously streaming on the Rumbles, which we are. So Darrel Brooks, guilty. Obviously. Now it's going to be sentencing. But we're going to go over something that happened yesterday. I was watching Rekida's Rekida's live commentary because it's much more fun than just watching it on Law and Crime. You'll identify people with personality disorder. And I mean, I say it's more obvious in the case of someone who has run his vehicle and murdered people with his vehicle. Darrel Brooks clearly has personality disorder. Manipulative, I'll say mildly intelligent because he can learn rules and then apply the rules. Pathological. And you could see the judge in this, we're going to go over a clip, was dealing with it, but getting sucked into the pathological manipulative behavior of people with PD. Google, oh my goodness, it's sick, it's insidious, and it's subtle. And what makes it so sick and insidious is how subtle it is. I got into a back and forth with Zuby on Twitter, where he says they're trying to gaslight us into thinking that they never said the jibby jab would prevent transmission. They never sold us on the vaccine would prevent transmission. And it's actually much, now they're trying to gaslight us into thinking that they never said that. And then I was like, oh, no, it's even funnier than that. I wanted to go back and pull up Albert Bourla's tweet, 100% effective. And I discovered something. It's actually sort of a black pill level insidious, corrupt censorship. We'll get there. And we do have a white pill today. We're going to get back into it. We're going to have to refresh everybody's memory, but y'all remember that injunction back in COVID in Nova Scotia, where the lower court issued an injunction preventing outdoor protest. And I was vocal about it at the time, not supporting of that decision. Well, the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal has overturned it. We're going to read an article. The decision is long and tedious, and I haven't gotten through all of it. But before we do that, we're going to start with one of our two sponsors for today's video, because you may have noticed it says paid promotion in the video, because Viva's got sponsors. Viva's got courageous sponsors who are not shy of supporting the fringed, hinged minority with unacceptable views, who we're seeing from this inquiry are not so fringe and their views are not so unacceptable. Field of Greens, Brickhouse Nutrition, Field of Greens. You've all seen it. I drink it. I use it. I get my vegetables, but for those who don't get their daily dose of vegetables, Field of Greens is a good, healthy substitute. It is powdered greens, but it's not a supplement, and it is not an extract. So it's not an extract that you can, in theory, take way too much of. It's not a supplement. It's a food. Desiccated greens. They take the healthiest vegetables, the healthiest fruits, dry them up, pulverize them, and then you stir it in water and you drink it. It actually tastes good. It's sweet. It doesn't taste bad at all. One spoonful is, do I have a container? No, I don't have the container here. One spoonful is one serving of vegetables. You're supposed to have like 5 to 6 servings a day. Most people don't. Take a spoonful twice a day. You get 2 doses of vegetables. You get the antioxidants. You get all of the superpowers of the vegetables and fruits that people should be eating that most people don't. I do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but I still have my glass of Field of Greens a day, and it's good. And it's a better habit. I'm not doing the Red Bull this afternoon. It's a better habit than having a soft drink or something disgusting in the afternoon. You get a glass of water, you get a spoonful of Field of Greens, you wash it in, you drink it down, you get a cup of water and all of your nutrients, and it's delicious. Fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA, 15% off your first order and 10% off a subscription. It's good, it's healthy, and people need their vegetables and their fruits and the antioxidants and all that jazz. So fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA, 15% off your first order, 10% off a subscription, and I thank them very much. It's a good product, and I use it, as I do my best to do with all sponsorships. And I spent a half an hour on the phone with the doctor behind the company to get my questions out, get my answers, and feel good and feel comfortable about the product, about consuming it, and about promoting it. Okay, what do we want to start with? Well, we're going to take Dylan Mulvaney out of the mix. What do we want to start with? Let's start with, it's not Soylent Green, people. That's made out of people. This is made out of vegetables and fruits, and it's desiccated. It's USDA approved organic. It's food. It's made in America too. It's not Soylent Green. It's made out of people. Y'all, that's from the movie Was the movie called Soylent Green? I haven't seen the movie. I only let's see what we got here. Don't eat food, just meditate and suck your energy out of the ether. You've all heard about that story about the woman who went to one of those eating air camps and died. There are people who it does not promote hair growth because I'm still bald as an eagle on my chest. Okay, let's move on. I want to start with the insidious because I want this to be front and center. And we're going to get to the debate last night. So why don't I have the gosh darn? This is not funny. That's for me. What? I put it up on Twitter. Oh, for goodness sake! Now I have to go get my Twitter feed. So Zuby put out a tweet. Zuby, y'all know who he is. He's a musician, very, very, very smart individual. He put out a tweet that said they really want to gaslight us into making us believe that they never told us the jibby jab would prevent transmission. Here. It's so weird watching people still claiming that no one said the C19, I'm going to say jab at this point, would stop transmission. As if it's not on video, the gaslighting and projection is incredible, truly. He's responding to someone else's tweet. And to which I said, because we've seen this tweet. We've gone over this tweet time and time again. I said they didn't just, there's not video, there's only video. They actually tweeted about it. And the they is Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer. This is his tweet. And by the way, I want everyone to do this exercise to see if we all get the same results. This was his tweet. We've seen this, I don't know how many times. If you go and look at that tweet, you're going to see a number of my responses to that tweet. Excited to share that updated analysis from our phase 3 study with BioNTech also showed that our COVID-19 vaccine was 100% effective in preventing COVID-19 cases in South Africa. 100%. There are some dishonest people out there who might say, oh, no, you misread it. He meant 100% effective in preventing COVID-19 cases as in hospitalization cases, not transmission. Oh, yeah. No. Go down to the next tweet. 800 participants enrolled in South Africa with 0 cases of COVID observed in the vaccinated group. So don't let anyone gaslight you with a dishonest, disingenuous, and above all else, factually incorrect manipulation of Bourla's tweet. This was what he was touting April 1st, 2021. By the way, the best defense, hold on, the dog, the best defense, it was an April Fool's joke. Hold on a second. Someone's got to walk the dog. The best defense, it was an April Fool's joke all along. That's a joke tongue in cheek. Don't let anyone gaslight you, manipulate you into thinking, oh, he didn't mean transmission. He meant in preventing COVID-19 cases and hospitalization. No. 800 participants enrolled, 0 cases of COVID observed in the vaccinated group. So it's clear what what Bourla, CEO of the company that sold this stuff, was saying. But this is what was shocking when I went to try to find that tweet. I went to try to find that tweet because I recently downloaded all the phone videos and all the photos off my phone to clear up about 125 gigs of space. So I didn't have the old tweet. So I went back to Google, like I typically do, to try to find it. And I put in the exact same search terms that I always put in, Albert Bourla 100% effective tweet. And I noticed something different that time. I noticed something different today. This is what I noticed. I posted this to locals as well. Here, this is what I noticed. I went in, okay, stop, pause. Albert Bourla 100% effective Twitter. And these were the results I got. This thing right here, 800 participants enrolled in South Africa with 0 cases. Okay? That's not the first tweet. That's his reply to himself. The data also showed the vaccine was 100% effective against severe COVID, defined by, as we see in the third result. You notice what's acutely missing from the top search results with these terms? The actual tweet itself. But maybe I said, oh, maybe I did something wrong. Tweet, put in tweet instead of Twitter. Oh, what's the first one that comes up? 800 participants enrolled in South Africa. I can't click on it, it's not a hyperlink. And what's yeah, the other one's just not there. Here we go. That's the one that comes up. But then later on, under different search terms later on, oh, what did I just do here? It gets even worse. The original result that had been coming up since I've been searching this, every time I go to find that tweet, it's the same in Google. Apparently in DuckDuckGo, the result is still the original one. And then when I went to search Albert Bourla at 100% effective tweet, the first result that comes up, the data also showed the vaccine was 100% effective. Oh, it's back up. The world is right. I'm not going crazy. The data also showed the vaccine was 100% effective against severe COVID as defined by the CDC. Now this one is coming up as the first search result. Same date, April 1st, 2021. The data also showed the vaccine was 100% effective against severe COVID. 100% effective from transmission of cases and 100% effective from severe COVID. But the search results today are not the same as what they have been up until today. And now the top search result is one relating to protection against severe illness and not protection against transmission. Let me just see what anyone in the chat thinks. Am I going crazy? Or is that exactly what I think it is? Which is Google manipulating the search results now. Oh, some people are going to say it has to do with the links that people are clicking on, and that generates different search results based on hogwash. Hogwash, because I've been looking up that tweet over and over again, repeatedly for months. And the number one that came up was the result that corresponds to those search terms the most. And it was his original tweet. Now the one that comes up for anybody Googling it, oh, they're going to say, oh, they've always been saying it was only good against severe illness. They never said it was good against transmission. Hold on. Let me see this here. Yes, you're crazy, Viva. You shouldn't be using Google to begin with. But if I weren't using Google to begin with, and I didn't notice this, there would be no one documenting how in real time they are Orwellian memory holing reality. They are manipulating the data so that people who now search it up 100% effective, the first result they're going to get, and they're going to think it's the only result, is going to be 100% effective against severe illness. Memory holing. The original search result that came up, 100% effective. 100. Google is doing Google things. Google gonna Google. And it's not the same in DuckDuckGo from what I've seen from other people's results. Here, let's see this. If it sounds like a duck, it looks like a duck. It's a duck. No, but so from what and DuckDuckGo's know better because they've had their Ukrainian, Russian censorship on that platform. But yeah, it's also very selective because I purposely went deep and it refuses to feed it back to me selective. I think I know what that means. And Google has been searched. So anyways, that's it. I just discovered that today. We're witnessing the memory holing of reality in real time. George Orwell was not predicting the future. It wasn't like predictive what he wrote in 1984. The idea of memory holing, he wasn't saying something that hadn't yet happened and was like foreseeing how it would happen in the future. He was providing a context of a timeless iteration of what has always been, what always will be. Government memory holes, the way they memory hole it, it just depends on the era. It depends on the means and it depends on the technology. But the idea that the government or Google or private actors or whatever you want to call them, the media, would memory hole information. It's no different than book burning, just a different iteration. And George Orwell was not predicting the future. He was taking the past And he was reformulating it in a timeless iteration that anyone at any stage in history could say, holy crap, this really applies today. All right. So there's that. Now get this out of here. Let me see what's in the Rumble Discord, in the Rumble discussion. DuckDuckGo was good, not anymore. That is from Ho 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 7. Ho Ho. Now I have a gun. Ho Ho Ho. Movie. Everyone knows what movie that's from. It's the best action movie of all time. Die Hard. Presearch.org, first result. That is from Scott351. Go do the test yourselves, actually, and let me know if you get the same results. New Scotland TV says, Viva, they've been doing this for years. I'm surprised you just noticed. It's called SEO/SEM, search engine optimization, search engine, I think, what mechanism? You think Google exists for your benefit or theirs? No, but I know they've been doing it forever. This is just a particularly insidious one. Like, I know the one when you look up, I don't know, you looked up American inventors and it gave you a whole list of things that people said were politically motivated. I know. Okay, so that's good. What else? Before we mosey on over to the Rumbles, let's just get another fun one. House of Cards was a great show. There, I said it. You know, and it is on topic. House of Cards was a great show. The line that I remember was when whatever her name was, Claire Underwood, when she said, we don't, what did she say? We don't give in to terror. And then what's his face says, we are the terror, referring to the government. Well, let's just start with this. Let me get my headphones on and, oh yeah. Listen to this.
People are getting. Good afternoon. I'm here today with my COVID team, as well as leaders from some of America's top pharmacies, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aids, Albertsons.
Remember, everybody, we beat Big Pharma. Just remember that.
And we're here with a simple message. Get vaccinated.
We beat Big Pharma. And now go Big Pharma. We're gonna give them money. We're gonna give them immunity. And we're going to tell you to take something that we now say was never intended to prevent transmission. Go Big Pharma.
Update your COVID vaccine. It's incredibly effective, but the truth is not enough people are getting it. We've got to change that so we can all have a safe and healthy holiday season. That's why I'm getting my shot updated today.
What did he say at the end there?
We've got to change that so we can all have a safe and healthy holiday season.
Do you remember when he predicted a winter of death for the unvaccinated that never came to fruition? You better listen to him now. Get updated. But it's actually, it goes even one step further. It goes even one step further than that. We beat Big Pharma, and now let me go ahead and plug Paxlovid. Let me go plug the product from the same company that made a product that doesn't work the way they said it was going to work. Do I have that clip? I don't have that clip. Let me see if I can. I won't find it. But that's not the point of it. If you want to avoid a winter of death for you and your loved ones, which never came to be, get vaccinated. This is an actual commercial. This is an actual tweet from the actual blue checkmark White House Twitter feed. So some of you don't live on Twitter or the social medias as I do. So this is hopefully exposing you to what's going on out there. Listen to this. This is an actual video put together by the government that they actually tweeted from their actual blue checkmark White House Twitter feed. Be afraid. Stay afraid. Get your annual COVID vaccine. Oh, by the way, I'm going to play it again. Whitehouse.Washington. Be afraid. When you hear someone cough, be afraid. Get your annual COVID vaccine shot before Halloween. Look at that, people. Just like that, it becomes an annual shot. It's discreet. It's subtle. It goes from being a subtle insert into a government ad to being government mandated. Although I think, some states are going to fight back against that if it ever gets there. But no, now it's annual. Get it? Biannual, bi-monthly. But the government produced literally a horror movie of a video that they ran on their website. I mean, it is actually, what was this? Frank. It's Frank Underwood. This is the meme. It's the government literally making the terror. Trying to terrify you. Trying to make you afraid of your friends, your neighbors. When you hear someone coughing, be afraid and go get your annual COVID shot. Do it. And if you don't, it's going to be another winter of death for you and your loved ones. We beat Big Pharma. Let me go see if I can find the Paxlovid statement that he made. Joe Biden is out there saying, get your vaccine. And oh, no, that's not the one. Get your vaccine. And if you get sick, take Paxlovid. We beat Big Pharma, people. We beat them so bad. They're running to the bank with it. The heck is that 18 hours ago? Where? Oh, yes, son of a bee sting. Okay. Whatever. You'll have to take my word for it. Joe Biden's out there pushing Paxlovid. Pushing Paxlovid, pushing the jab, pushing money, immunity to Big Pharma, while touting to have beat Big Pharma. This is the year they beat Big Pharma. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, I found it. Add to stream. This is another portion of his wonderful, wonderful presser.
Virtually every COVID death in America is preventable. Virtually everyone. Almost everyone who will die from COVID this year will not be up to date on their shots.
And by the way, notice he didn't say will not be unvaccinated. They will not be up to date on their shots. You know what that allows a dishonest government to do? To say, oh, even the double, triple vaxxed that die. Oh, it doesn't mean that the vaccine didn't work. They weren't up to date because they didn't get a booster within 2 months of their last shot. If Walensky, the head of the CDC, is right.
Or they will not have taken Paxlovid when they got sick.
If they die,
virtually every.
Oh my gosh, the levels of dishonesty here, of wordsmithing of the devil. Listen.
COVID death in America is preventable. Virtually every COVID death in America.
So it's not every. Some deaths are inevitable.
Is preventable.
Preventable.
Virtually everyone.
Virtually.
Almost everyone who will die from COVID this year will not be up to date on their shots.
Not unvaccinated will not be up to date on their shots, but listen to this.
Or they will not have taken Paxlovid when they got sick.
Or they will not have taken Paxlovid, a Pfizer medication. If virtually everyone who dies will not be up to date on their vax, a figure that is so bloody easy to manipulate in favor of supporting that foregone conclusion, or if you can't wiggle out all of the deaths, or they will not have taken Paxlovid when they got sick. Hey, you know what that's called? That's called setting up an argument that cannot be defeated, because there is not a person out there who could not wiggle all the data to say, oh, that person who died, even though they were double, triple vaccinated, whatever, they weren't up to date. Oh, what's that? They just got vaccinated a fourth time a week ago. Oh, well, it wasn't the jibby jab that might have caused that. No way. They didn't take Paxlovid, because I don't know who the heck is taking Paxlovid, whatever the hell that is. Oh, and by the way, if anybody happens to pass within whatever time frame of their second, third, fourth jibby jab, booster, up to date, whatever, has nothing to do with that. That's not how stats work. If anything of that nature happens, totally unrelated. But oh man, whatever. All right, let us bring this party on to Rumble. Did I put? Oh, you know what I didn't do, because I'm an idiot. I'll put the links in afterwards for the sponsors, or I might have to do it while I talk with you here. Oh, no. Well, actually, before we go, I got to do this. I got to do my second sponsor. Hold on. Where are we? Home Title Lock, people. Before we go on over to the Rumbles exclusively, link is over here. What happened? It's mute works? Am I? You guys can hear me, right? Okay, maybe there was no audio on that. Home Title Lock is the other product which I actually use. Because I didn't know this, moving countries, and Florida's a bit of the Wild West, things you learn. There is a very, not unique, but a very prevalent and not well-known type of fraud in America. And it's home title fraud, but not in the sense that people go and change your name off the deed of ownership of the property and then show up and say, hey, we live here now. No. Apparently, it's an extremely prevalent type of fraud where people borrow money against your house by pulling up the deed of sale from a local registrar's office, or whatever they call it here. What do they call them? They pull up the deed and they borrow money against your house, forge your signature, borrow money against your house, so that what ends up happening is they don't show up and say, hey, we own your house now, but a bank shows up or a creditor shows up and says, hey, you owe us $50,000, which you borrowed against your house, pay up. And then you go to find the person who borrowed the money and they're long gone and you're holding a big bag of steaming dog poop. Home Title Lock basically watches your property, watches your deed, and not only notifies you, but freezes the ability to borrow if anyone goes to, what are they called? The local registrar. Someone's going to give me the name here. I can't remember the name now. The local person who has the deeds of all the properties. It's surprisingly easy to do. And I'm not just saying this actually at all because that's what the company told me. I called my insurance company and I said, is this type of fraud real in Florida, in the States? And they said, yes, and you have to protect against it. I was talking to a random dude as I was fishing on the Deerfield Pier who's into construction and home development. And I asked him, is this a real type of fraud? He says 100%. Home Title Lock is basically like 24/7 watching your deed to make sure nobody borrows against it. Anybody goes and pulls up your deed, tries to forge your signature, whatever, you get notified, they freeze it so that nobody can borrow against your house. $19.95 a month. And it'll probably be the best $19.95 a month you spend. If you never use it, you never use it. I have not yet used it, touch wood, but it gives me a very, very big peace of mind where I don't have to worry about it because I'm not going to watch the land registry myself. $19.95 a month. If you go to HometitleLock.com and you use the promo code VIVA, you get a $100 value assessment of title to make sure that your title is clean and good. And then for $19.95 a month, you get the protection. You get this. You get the 24/7 surveillance, so that nobody's going to go borrow against your property and leave you holding a big steaming bag of financial doo-doo. And I use it myself straight up. In fact, if you go to HometitleLock.com/Viva, I think there's a landing page with my beautiful face on it. Much shorter hair, but I'm there. And the links will be in the description and in the pinned comment right after the stream. So that's it. Real stuff. It's the Wild West out here. Florida is the Wild West. Yeah, there's Knockwood and there's Touch Gold. We had my kid's daycare teacher back in Canada was an elderly Indian woman who used to wear gold, so much gold. And then she actually was the one who told me that touch wood is a religious concept from touching the original cross, which is why some people have a superstitious reason not to use it. And touch gold is what she did, as it was her expression, so as not to invoke religious concepts, whatever. There, now you know a little bit of a new interesting stuff. Did I have the link to Rumble? I did. Here we go. All right. So HometitleLock.com/Viva. You get a free $100 title assessment, and fieldofgreens.com promo code Viva, 15% off your first order and 10% off subscription. Now, mosey on over to the Rumbles, because we're going to break down what personality disorder looks like. And I say Darrel Brooks made a mockery of his defense, but it's unfortunately a second type of abuse that you have to endure in a functioning justice system. Whereas, the injustice, even if you think Alex Jones is guilty, that Alex Jones experienced in a civil matter, not exactly proper functioning of the judicial system. So mosey on over to Rumble, people. I'm going to end it in 3, 2, 1 on Rumble. Not on Rumble, idiot. Ending it on YouTube now.